Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of China, How It Is. Today we're talking about the all-important visa issue in China. Right, first thing you need to know is that if you're coming to China, you need a visa. You cannot, doesn't matter what nationality you are, arrive at the border and apply for a visa there. There are some very special sort of one-day shopping visas you can get in Shenzhen only, and I think maybe there are one or two other cities where it's allowed, but in general for China, you have to have that visa in your passport before you arrive at the border. So don't forget to apply, preferably in your home country, before you come here. Alright, basic visas like tourist visas, you need the kind of thing that you would expect you'd need. Things like an itinerary, hotel booking, proof that you have enough money in the bank, etc., etc. It varies depending on your nationality, so make sure you get the details from your own local consulate in your country. Because, like I found out the hard way, if you go to Hong Kong or somewhere like that, different rules apply to different nationalities. For instance, I went there with a New Zealander and somebody from, I believe it was Switzerland. All three of us went into an agent. The guy from New Zealand and the girl from Switzerland both managed to get 1-year visas without any problem. I was stuck with a 15-day visa and I had to prove a lot more and produce a lot more documents that they did. So please do the research before you leave. Alright guys, now what do you need to get a work visa? I mean, this is probably why you're watching this video, right? Well, the first thing you need is this, an alien employment permit. Also, you can get something called a foreign expert certificate. Now, you don't have to apply for this. The company that is going to employ you is the one that has to apply for this. You're going to need a contract which is signed by the company you're going to work for, and the company is going to have to produce all sorts of documents, including a permit to show that they're allowed to hire foreigners. Oh, you're going to have to also submit a health test. So you're going to have to go for a full body check, either in your home country or in China. There are special hospitals that allow you to do it as well. Okay, once that's all sorted out and you have this, or your employer has this, what you're going to have to do next is get a copy of your degree translated into Chinese and notarized, and also a criminal background check in your own country, translated and then notarized. The notary happens in China. So here's my advice to you. Get all your documents that you need, DHL them over to your company that you're going to work for. They will take care of the translation and notarization, etc. for you and help you through the process. Most people I know have to do this, and they do this, and you know, the company looks after them. I did it all by myself. It was a pain in the ass, but it can be done. As per the new rules, you can only apply for a Z visa in your own home country. Although there is a loophole, some people DHL all their documents to their home country and get agents to do it for them. You can look at C-Milk's video, he kind of explains that. Anyway, so you're in your home country, you apply at your local consulate with all your documents. If everything is in order, you will get your Z visa in your passport. This is what it looks like. Here's a picture. Now the Z visa is actually only a 30-day visa. This does not mean that you're allowed to stay and work. What you need is you need your residence permit. And I'll explain to you how this happens. You arrive in China with a Z visa in your passport. You go through the border, they're going to stamp it for you. And then after that, you have 30 days to go to the Public Security Bureau. They're going to want to interview you. The police do an interview just to make sure you are who you are and that you are actually getting the job you say you're going to get. It's fairly easy. You know, I didn't have any issues. I don't think you will either. You get all your documents sorted out with these guys, and then they give you what's called a residency permit, and it's a 1-year residency permit in your passport, which is great. So now you've got a residency permit, now you're allowed to work, now everything's cool, and you're on your way. And that's how you get a work visa.
Hey guys, my name is Marty. I'm from Australia, as you can see here, Australian passport. I had to go through all of the things that Winston just described to you. I needed a criminal record check, I needed my degree translated, I needed a health check, numerous documents. Your employer should have its business registration certificate, all the relevant documents, and yeah, you get one of these, which is an alien work permit, and inside the actual passport, once you have your Z visa, you will actually get one of these, which is the residency permit. Yeah, alien residence permit for foreigners. And that way you know that you're completely legal, you can work. Basically, my company did all of the work for me. All I needed to do was go get a health check and have an interview with the police. And once that's all fine, you just wait about, I think I waited maybe a month, less than a month. And yeah, I got all my relevant documents sorted.
I'd like to introduce you to my co-host over here, the curious bystander. Anyway, now I'd like to dispel a whole lot of myths about work visas. Okay, the biggest myth about work visas that I would like to dispel is the following, and I get questions about this almost every other day. People ask me, can I get a work visa without having a degree? If I just have a college diploma, or if I just have a high school certificate, or maybe a TEFL or TESOL, which is a teaching certificate. The answer is no. You cannot get a working visa without a minimum of a bachelor's degree. This is the solid truth. If you apply for this visa and you do not have a degree, you will be rejected. There are no ifs, there are no buts. You cannot, absolutely cannot. However, I'm here to tell you the exact truth of how China is. That's why the series is called China How It Is. And I will tell you that I do know people who have managed to get working visas through dodgy, underhanded, illegal connections. This is called guanxi. And it's all got to do with the person that you know in the police station or in certain bureaus. And although this has been something that has been available to people in the past in smaller towns and cities, especially in China's current political climate, it is not an option anymore. There's a huge crackdown on corruption and specifically this kind of thing. And if you come here with the idea that you might be able to get a visa through an under-the-table dodgy means, you may very well be disappointed and be back on a plane home in a short period of time. I'm going to say quite straightforward to you right now, it's not worth the risk. Like I said, I know people who've done this kind of thing, and I'm sure there'll be people out there in the comments saying, oh, you can get a visa if you don't have a degree, as long as you have the right connections, etc. No, you cannot. So, if you do not have a bachelor's degree minimum, and you also need 2 years working experience, and if you're going to be a teacher, you're going to need a TEFL or a TESOL on top of that, you cannot get a working visa. So I hope that's very clear to you. I know I've repeated myself a few times, but it's just the actual fact. So that is another reason why you find a lot of foreigners here teaching English illegally on business and tourist visas. Anyway, this is not something I suggest you do. It is risky. There are raids. People do get fined. People do get deported, etc., etc. So I do suggest that if you are planning to come and work in China, that you meet the minimum requirements of having a bachelor's degree. Oh, and 2 years working experience. Okay, now, other than, of course, the requirements of needing a bachelor's degree and 2 years working experience, there is also an age limit. You are only allowed to get a work visa if you are between the ages of 24 and 65 if you're a man, and 24 and 55 if you are a woman. All right, now there's something that applies to all visa holders. It doesn't matter if you get your work visa or your business or your tourist visa. You need something called a temporary residence permit. Now how this works is, when you come into China, within the first 24 hours, you need to apply for this permit. Now don't worry if you're here on a tourist visa, because if you go check into a hotel, the hotel will automatically apply for this permit on your behalf. You don't even notice it happens. But they do, they fill out a form, they take a copy of your passport, and they send it off to the local police station. Now, if you're not staying in a hotel, you have to apply for this temporary residence permit yourself. Now, the way I did it was, I simply asked my landlord where the local police station was, and he directed me there. I went there, I needed a copy of my passport, I needed my passport, I needed a passport photo, and very importantly, I needed a copy of an original copy of my rental agreement with the landlord, which had the stamp on it. They would not accept anything else. With these documents, it was fairly easy. I filled out a form, and they gave me a temporary residence permit. Now, this temporary residence permit is an important document, and you will be using it in the future for applying for an extension on your visa, for instance, or if you are going to be doing anything like, for instance, getting a internet connection to your house. This is the kind of thing you're going to need. Now, I've also had situations where the police have come to my door and come to check my passport and my temporary residence permit, etc. So it's a good idea. A lot of people don't do this. They seem to think it's not important, but it does become important every time there's sort of a crackdown on illegal workers, etc. So please make sure that you go and get your temporary residence permit from the local police station. Okay guys, so to sum up, please make sure that you contact your local Chinese consulate and make sure that you have all the documents that they require. They're very helpful, and they will furnish you with all the necessary information. So make sure you do that. But before you continue, go and check out C-Milk's video. He's done a very, very in-depth video about the different kinds of visas. And so you might find some very valuable information there as to which visa to get, depending on your needs. So please go check out his video. And if you still have questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you, or at least somebody will. Also, please go check out our other videos. This is an ongoing series, and we have a video already about where to go in China, both of us. And we're going to have a hell of a lot more in store for you, so stick around. Anyway guys, thank you very much again for watching, and until next time, stay awesome.